things on your bread with these very typical bread knives, and I only have 2 of those, but I thought I would bring them out.
Olá pessoal, sejam bem-vindos ao meu canal. Meu nome é Natália, mas você pode me chamar de Nath. Eu adoro reagir e aprender sobre outros países, especialmente aqueles bem diferentes do meu, em termos culturais e econômicos. Então, se você gosta desse tipo de conteúdo, fique à vontade para se inscrever. Vou adorar ter você por aqui. Bom, nesse vídeo eu vou reagir ao que os alemães realmente comem. Então é isso, sem mais delongas, e vamos para a reação.
Almost half of all Germans still have a very traditional German supper, which we call Abendbrot. And today I want to share that with you because it brings back so many memories for me. This is exactly how my family would have our Abendbrot, our evening supper. I'm going to walk you through the various elements and how to set it up and for what occasions it might be perfect, and I'm excited to take you along.
Eu não tinha
First, I
ideia
want to talk
disso.
about the setup a little bit. It is very common for German to have placemats. We call them sets, Platzdeckchen. And what is really typical is to not have actual plates, porcelain or china plates, but wooden boards. Most people, in fact, have round boards
Meu
with a little bit of a rim.
Deus, que
These are my
incrível.
family's boards, and as you can tell, they've been well loved, and they're rectangular. It's just a matter of personal choice. The reason for that is that it's easier to spread things on your bread with these very typical bread knives, and I only have 2 of those, but I thought I would bring them out.
Gente, peraí, é verdade isso? Tipo, vocês não comem comida quente no jantar, vocês comem isso, pão? E, tipo, é verdade também isso, vocês não têm pratos? Me deixe saber nos comentários, porque eu não tinha ideia que vocês faziam isso. Realmente eu não sabia disso.
And then, of course, you have a nice napkin and your fork, because Germans often eat with fork and knife. I also want to talk about where the
Incrível!
German supper, the Abendbrot, originated, because it is quite unique in European countries. During the 1920s, when during the age of the industrialization, people were working in factories, and factories often had cafeterias. So people working there would have a hot meal during their lunch time, which is still the traditional way Germans eat. They eat a cold breakfast and then a warm lunch and a cold supper. So by the time they got home, they weren't really so hungry. And because they had been working all day, it was just easier to prepare Brot, Abendbrot, some slices of bread
Faz
and
sentido.
whatever spreads. In this video, I'm going to show you a bit of a hybrid version. This is probably a little bit more elaborate than what most families on weeknights would have. And also I'm going to show you a little bit more variety than most.
Gente, peraí, tipo, vocês comem isso, e eu concordo que ela falou, que é prático. Mas vocês não sentem fome? Tipo, vocês não comem comida quente, vocês não ficam com fome depois? E que horas que vocês comem isso? Se fosse aqui no Brasil, isso não ia dar certo. Tipo, o brasileiro ia passar mal, sabe? O povo aqui é muito acostumado a comer refeição quente no jantar. Isso é muito doido pra mim, muito diferente.
Families would have, because it really depends on what most families on weeknights would have. And also I'm going to show you a little bit more variety than most families would
Vai
have,
até
because
maionese.
it really depends on the size of the family and how many different things you're going to put on your table, but also your personal preferences. Some families have gone completely vegetarian, so they might cut out the cold cuts, and some families don't like fish, which is still very traditional in some shape or form. So it's really up to what they're doing. However, the presentation and the care and everything that is going into the preparation is probably a little bit more than you would do on an average weeknight. This is something that you would probably do if you had friends over, if you had company, if you wanted to impress a little bit, and if you wanted to make it a little bit special. Everything really starts and revolves around bread. I am cutting some whole grain bread, a sourdough bread that I always make all the time. And Germany is supposed to have at least 86 different types of bread,
Meu
depending
Deus,
on
muitos
what you count
pães.
as a different type of bread and where you go and who you ask. But Germans love bread. They're said to have bread with their bread. This is a lighter bread that is probably a little bit more popular and most people will like it. And so that's my bread basket. I also made some hard-boiled eggs. I just simply boiled them in boiling water for 10 minutes and then immediately put them in ice water, which makes them easier to peel. You can see that the peel is coming off pretty easily. It's actually quite fun when you take that last bit off. I'll just simply put them back in the water to get any last bits of peel off. Butter is another really important piece here for this supper, this Abendbrot. And while this is not a real German butter, it is a European style butter. It is the Irish Kerrygold that I can highly recommend because of its high fat content and low moisture content, so it's extremely creamy and tasty. And I'm putting it in this butter dish that is not a German butter dish because it's a smaller size, but it is a butter dish that I really like.
Gente, mas assim, isso ainda é muito forte hoje na Alemanha, porque isso é forte, assim, tipo, entre todo mundo, tipo, as pessoas mais velhas, os mais jovens, porque é uma coisa que é prática, mas ao mesmo tempo, assim, isso é muito doido pra mim, porque vocês deixam isso preparado, algo do tipo, porque assim, eu faço minha comida, eu deixo as minhas marmitas prontas. Então eu simplesmente vou lá e esquento, né? E assim, aqui eu tô vendo que ela corta cada um deles e tudo mais. No caso, vocês fazem isso todos os dias também, ou você já deixa as coisas prontas? Porque eu tô com muita dúvida sobre isso.
And then next, for the cheeses, I have a little confession to make. Even though this is a German supper, I'm not using authentic, real German cheeses. I'm using a Gruyere, which is my favorite one. If you want to get them in America, I recommend the Gruyere by M.E. Roth. And then I have another Gouda, which is also really popular. I mean, both cheeses are really popular with Germans, but the Gouda is the softer cheese from Holland. And it actually cuts not very well, but most people in Germany often buy sliced cheese, which I try to avoid because I like my cheese really fresh. I also went to the deli
chique,
that
gente. Meu
luckily
Deus.
has Schaller and Weber cold cuts. I'm going to leave a link for you below. These are really traditional liverwurst, Leberwurst, and then I have a bologna, which is, I think it's bologna, and a salami on my cold cuts plate here, which is a round of wood that my grandfather made. The pickles, you know, if you're just serving that supper with your family, you might just put that jar of pickles on the table, but I am making it a little bit more elaborate and I'm putting the pickles sliced open on my charcuterie board, which it essentially is, directly next to my cold cuts to make it look a little bit more appealing.
Meu Deus, gente, isso aqui é comida com petisco, como petisco.
Some people call it beer cheese. It can or not contain beer, but it's a cheese spread. And that's very typical, more for the southern part of Germany, Bavaria, than the northern part. But Germans love spreads in all sorts of shapes and tastes and whatnot. And you can go to stores and really literally get very different spreads. Either they're vegetarian or they're meat-based. I'm setting the table here and you can follow along in real life. Oftentimes, every square inch of the table is covered, which is sometimes also the case for a nice elaborate breakfast, especially when you want to impress when you have company. So we'll just put everything out. Here is my beer cheese, and really important is salt and pepper because everybody is different. Everybody needs different seasonings. My grandparents actually even had more seasonings than that. Then I have my tinned fish, and I have Schmaltz, which is essentially lard, but it comes in a jar and you can buy it in Germany just like that. Then we have butter, and then we have various tubes here. They are tubes of mustard, mayo, and then I have a sweet mustard. You've probably seen that in.
Gente, mas isso literalmente é um banquete, tipo, eu entendo que pode ser mais prático e tal, mas literalmente pra mim isso é um banquete, porque olha quantas opções que tem. Tipo, são muitas coisas. Aqui no Brasil, muitas pessoas usam para beber cerveja. Os mercados até vendem tábuas de frios com vários queijos e tudo mais. Então, literalmente, os brasileiros não conseguiriam viver só comendo isso no jantar. Isso é muito doido pra minha cabeça.
Stores, you can buy tomato paste in a tube, but that's always really fun because you squeeze out exactly how much you want. Kids love it particularly, and it's a little bit like, yes, your toothpaste. Just imagine your toothpaste tube on the table. Then I'm serving Gerolsteiner sparkling water. I really like that a lot better than the San Pellegrino. And very typical still with a lot of Germans is beer for supper. Not anything else but
Eles bebem
beer.
cerveja no jantar.
Here is the final setup. You could always have more.
Faz sentido,
but
né?
I feel like this is very
Acompanhamento.
comprehensive. This is very traditional, and just the look of it. And I have to also say the smell of it was very traditional. I had so much fun. So first of all, I pour myself a glass of beer. I'm not much of a beer drinker, really, but with this type of meal, I have to say that beer, this is a Warsteiner, is really the most typical. And as I said before, we love these wooden boards because there's no rim and it's really easy to spread things on slices of bread. There's nothing in the way. You don't have to hold the knife at a weird angle, and that's why I love these wooden boards. And my butter knives, here is some liverwurst, and it's really fun to put different things on different combinations of like basically an open-faced sandwich. My grandparents often even prepared slices of bread with spread or cold cuts or cheese on them and would have them ready-made in smaller, not the whole slice, but they would cut a half slice or a quarter slice and then on a big platter and would serve that. I have fond memories of that, but I like this version a lot better where everybody.
Gente, eu confesso que é bem divertido, porque imagina, você senta aí e pode ficar pegando as cores e tal. Não vou negar. Isso, na verdade, é mais divertido do que pegar uma marmita pronta assim na geladeira.
Can just do whatever they want and serve themselves with whatever they like best. I'm such a big cheese eater and I could have cheese all the time. What's interesting is that Germans still often eat with fork and knife, as I mentioned earlier, not only cutting it, but also eating it. So instead of just taking a slice of bread and using your fingers and putting it in your mouth and taking a bite, they actually cut it with a knife and use the fork to move it to their mouth.
Eu não tinha ideia que vocês faziam isso.
Good form, good etiquette, and keeping both hands on the table is also considered good etiquette. Not the elbow, you get slapped depending on what generation you are, but also not one hand in your lap. That's considered impolite and just not really how you do things.
Até hoje é assim, gente.
And here is the tinned fish. It's always a little bit of a challenge to open the tin without spilling any of the tomato sauce, but this is really delicious. You don't really see where the fish is, but you can get it out of there. I have to say, I enjoyed this meal so much. We're going to have it more often again. This is
Muito
so
prático.
traditional and so yummy, and everybody raved about it. You will see just in a moment that there wasn't a whole lot left after 4 of us had this delicious supper. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Meu Deus, gente, como assim? Tipo, isso até hoje Eu não sei nem o que dizer, tipo, vocês, comem isso até hoje, mas literalmente o que eu vi é que é tipo um banquete, sabe. Tipo, isso é prático, mas ao mesmo tempo me parece uma coisa muito grande, tipo, havia tantas opções ali, e assim, eu não consigo acreditar como isso funcionaria no Brasil, porque o brasileiro não consegue viver, sem comer comida quente, sabe, especialmente no jantar. Literalmente, o povo daqui ama comer comida quente no jantar, então isso aqui não funcionaria. Acho que muita gente ia ficar fraca, sabe. Literalmente é isso que eu ouço das pessoas, sabe. Tipo, as pessoas falam que não consegue, ficar sem comer comida quente no jantar porque fica fraco. Então, assim, eu não sei nem o que dizer, tipo, quanto que vocês comem de pão, como que funciona isso? Porque eu achei muito diferente, mas o que eu achei muito curioso também é que, tipo, botaram muitas opções, né. Eu entendo que naquela época, tipo, realmente poderia ser muito mais prático isso do que você ir matar animais e ter que preparar a carne e não tinha lugar para guardar, né, dependendo da época. Então, literalmente, isso é muito prático, mas do jeito que ela montou aqui, pra mim, literalmente parece um banquete. E eu fiquei doida, porque eu não sabia que vocês tinham, essa forma tradicional, esse jantar tradicional. Eu pensei que vocês, comiam comida, quente também no jantar, sabe. Mas bom, essa foi a minha reação. Eu espero que você tenha gostado desse vídeo. Se você gostou, considere se inscrever. Vou adorar ter você por aqui. E se você já foi inscrito, não esquece de ativar as notificações. Então é isso, obrigada por assistir esse vídeo. Nos vemos na próxima reação.